The crisis in Syria is being closely watched by Syrian families living right here in South Florida.
Local 10 News reporter Amy Viteri has the story of one woman who's hoping a newly found truce will help free her family's country.
Well, Janine and Calvin, another ceasefire has been announced tonight in the city of Aleppo with the hopes of getting civilians evacuated safely. This just hours after a previous deal fell through. Meanwhile, humanitarian doctors trapped in the city say they are terrified and overwhelmed.
This woman named Dima has vivid memories of the first time she visited her family's home in their native Syria.
Mom, am I a princess and you never told me? Because, look at our house. And that, I'll never forget that because that's what Syria was.
She says that Syria no longer exists.
That place is not there anymore.
The horrible images of civil war, particularly inside the city of Aleppo, have left Dima hopeless. She's using only her first name to protect relatives still living there.
Sometimes I feel like I can't watch the news because that should have been me.
Dima was born in the U.S. to Syrian parents and graduated from Everglades High School. She and her family moved back to Damascus, Syria in 2006. But just 6 years later, civil unrest, fighting between rebels and government forces reached the capital city.
One of the guys from the army came in, started banging on the door, opened the door, and put a gun to my sister's head. So after that happened, we had to leave.
Wednesday, rebels and government forces once again reached a tenuous ceasefire to evacuate thousands who remain in Aleppo, hours after a previous deal fell apart, leading to more shelling and bombing.
Some buildings have fallen due to bombs, and there's still people in there alive, and nobody can go in there to save them. So this has just become their grave.
Dima says when her family came back to Florida in 2012, they figured the conflict would end in a few months and they could go back to Syria.
We're 5 years in, and there's no light at the end of the tunnel.
Evacuations of the first group of civilians and injured people is expected to begin early tomorrow morning. Live in the newsroom, Amy Viteri, Local 10 News.